Who's ever heard of 1001 insert thing here you must do before you die? Yep, that's uplifting. A series of reference guides from Quintessence Editions Ltd. You've got your obvious editions, movies to see, books to read, songs to hear, but there's also 1001 beers, wines and whiskies you must taste before you die of alcohol poisoning, and 1001 guitars to dream of playing. Yeah, because whenever I play air guitar, I definitely know the make and model of whatever it is I'm shredding on. But what I want to talk about, obviously, is 1001 video games you must play, originally released in 2010 and then updated 2013. And I know it's unintentional just sticking to the naming convention, but for how rare some of the earlier suggestions are nowadays, fat chance. Sorry completionists, you're screwed. Don't get me wrong though, for the purpose of historic preservation, it does make a great showcase to highlight a lot of important titles. The ones that defined console and company, genres and generations. Oh good lord, yes. Of course, 1001 games does sound like a lot of inclusion, and they were chosen and reviewed by professional critics, with many smaller profile games getting much needed attention.
But there might be a little popularity bias here, I'm totally honest.
Because when it comes to the bigger franchises, there are 10 spots for Star Wars, 10 for Grand Theft Auto, 11 for Final Fantasy, 12 for Legend of Zelda, 24 that have Mario in the name, and not a single slot for Crash or Spyro. Get bent. And it becomes very awkward when the review of one game backhandedly insults another game, that's also included, by the same reviewer, who reviews every other Zelda game on the list, except Spirit Tracks. I'm not the first person to make this criticism, but come on, 1001 Movies You Must Watch had its 14th update in October 2020. I think it's time for Quintessence to give this one another look. Hey Abe, you okay buddy? I think you might be in the wrong game. What do you think? I still suggest you check this out. I've borrowed it from the library repeatedly because I'm cheap, and it is an awesome read, but just take this as a warning, it's not perfect. So this was a segment I removed from a project I'm currently working on. It just felt too disconnected from the rest, but I still wanted to share. And to make this video more of its own thing, I came up with the top 5 suggestions I would put in the new version of 1001 games. Though I don't expect anyone to listen to me, I just wanted to. I chose within rules that the official list seems to work under, i.e. no games based on larger film or book franchises, and I did have one rule of my own, nothing after 2013. The last entry of the updated version was BioShock Infinite, and any of the newer inclusions are anyone's guess. I'm really not bothered. I'm only suggesting older games that could have made it in last time but just didn't for some reason. So, in no particular order, number 1, Crash Bandicoot 2 Cortex Strikes Back, obviously. Number 2, Spyro Year of the Dragon, obviously. Number 3, okay, I'll talk more. I consider my first exposure to these characters as milestones for me as a young gamer, having actually started with Crash 3 and Spyro 2. But from a gameplay perspective, I feel that these two are better representative of the core style these series each excel at. CSB includes a lot more mind-bending secrets and enemy-specific strategy that push the player to actually think about how they progress through the game. And while I really wish the level-specific cutscenes had been brought over from Spyro 2, and they had utilised more of the extra characters exploring the level environments, I do have to focus on what is here already, and Yod does not have anything nearly as aggravating as that goddamn alchemist, or as broken as playing it twice because you don't have the head bash move yet, you motherfucker! Number 3, anything humongous entertainment. The edutainment genre is by and large represented in this list solely by the logical journey of the Zumbinis, and the description throws shade on Maths Blaster, which, nah, I can't argue with that. But however biased this might be, I think there needs to be more discussion on the power of learning games, not belittling them as patronizing for knowing their target audience. And for me, a huge part of it is the company founded by legends of LucasArts, Ron Gilbert and Shelley Day. Of their 4 major franchises, each has their own common theme and feeling that makes them stand out. The excitement of Spy Fox, the mystery of Freddy Fish, the imagination of Pajama Sam, or the wholesomeness of Putt Putt. My best bets would be Pajama Sam No Need to Hide When It's Dark Outside, or possibly one of the later Freddy Fish games if, yes, I'm not sure, please correct me, if they happen to emphasize more detective work and critical thinking. Because the first game in the series was very...
It says, to find Grandma Grouper's treasure chest, go to the old whale bones.
straightforward with its main case. Number 4, I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream / Sanitarium. Yeah, I'm being naughty in more ways than one. I haven't played either of these myself, but they both have a similar atmosphere, and I've heard a lot about them primarily for the emotional impact they have on the player. No Mouth is a lot more philosophical and intense, while Sanitarium has an odd sense of humour about the unstable mentality of its characters. Very fitting for its title. One or the other, or both, I think would bring a touch of introspection and thought to the list that currently might be lacking. And number 5, anything iToy. In order to find a 5th choice, I decided to do the research in finding out all the games discarded from 2010 to make room for the intervening 3 years. Not to bring any of them back, but just to see where the cuts were made. In a cruel twist of irony, my town library no longer has the first version because it's older than 10 years. Doesn't that sound bloody familiar? And I noticed that a significant few of them are sports games. I couldn't care less. But it did remind me that there was a sports game for the PlayStation iToy, one of only a couple dozen for the seemingly forgotten predecessor of the Xbox Kinect.
It is unlike anything you've ever experienced before.
Okay, maybe I'm expecting too much now. This is a catalogue of standout games, not every piece of tech the gaming industry threw up. But I don't know, I always had more fun and success with iToy, and I've only really played Play 3. I've also gone through 6 copies. Why? So please share this around, do your own top 5s, let Quintessence know that we gamers will not be ignored, but do it respectfully, please, for the love of Crash.